Resident Evil Village crystal fragments, hidden treasures, and loot from special enemies are the best way to make money fast at the start of the game. In this video, I'll be showing you map locations of hidden treasures that you can get right at the start of the game, and telling you about much later game stuff, so yeah, there'll be some minor spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. So money, called lei in the game, is at a premium if you want to buy upgrades and useful stuff from the resident merchant, the Duke, who, by some miracle, is popping up everywhere throughout the game and is constantly tempting you to buy a useful upgrade or an epic new weapon. So knowing how to make a huge lot of money early on really can make a huge difference to your weapon's power and ammo capacity. So here's how to get your hands on a huge stack of lei. The best way to make bank early on is by getting crystal fragments by keeping your eye out for little sparkles. If you see one of these small flickering white lights, you can bet that there's a crystal fragment or other type of gem in there. These crystals are usually out of reach, think walls, statues, ceilings, but they will fall down once you shoot them. You can find these crystal fragments right away after entering the village. Every crystal fragment can be exchanged for 2,000 lei at the Duke's shop, so this is well worth doing at the start of the game. As soon as you enter the main village, there are 2 to pick up. So for Crystal Fragment 1, the Maiden of War statue on the village's main square. The crystal fragment is behind her shield. For Crystal Fragment 2, inside the church, see the collection of pictures on the wooden ceiling in front of the altar? The middle one contains a crystal fragment. There are 9 crystal fragments throughout the castle to get. So on the first floor, crystal fragment 1 is in the room east of the entrance hall. Turn your back to the elevator and look up. You'll see the crystal high above you on the wall. When walking from Lady D's bedchamber to the Hall of the Four, you'll see a glass cupboard at the end of the narrow hallway on your left. Smash the glass with your knife to grab the crystal fragment. Crystal Fragment 3, on the north side of the dining room, right in the middle of the circle on the ceiling is where you'll find it. Now, on the second floor, Crystal Fragment 4 is just above the portrait of the nobleman. Crystal Fragment 5, in the Hall of Pleasures, it's on the ceiling at the centre of the stone ornament. Crystal Fragment 6, second floor of the Opera Hall, the southern part. Upon entering, you can see the crystal on the ceiling above a small table. Now, down into the basement. Crystal Fragment 7 is on the ceiling in the passageway between the tasting room and the Hall of War. Crystal Fragment 8 is in the special chambers. You can get it by using the iron insignia key when you have it and blowing up the left wall of the room with a pipe bomb. The crystal is lying on a wooden box. And finally, there's a crystal fragment to be found on the castle's roof. Crystal Fragment 9 is on the castle's roof. Look at the east side of the tower, it's just above the window. So there are many more crystal fragments later in the game, but this lot should give you enough to get some really powerful weapons to help you out nice and early. Oh, you want more ways to get money in the game? Well, you're going to need to start collecting treasures hidden throughout the castle that will land you even more money if that's what you want. Now, make sure you do this when you are going through the castle, as once you leave, you can't go back to the castle and you could miss out on these treasures completely. To make sure you haven't missed anything, make sure you check whether a room is red or blue on the map before you leave. If it's red, there may still be some valuables inside, so it's best to have another look. So, before you leave Lady D's bedchamber, be sure to grab that crimson glass from her bedside table. This is one of the easiest treasures to get, and it fetches no less than 3,500 lei. Ingrid's necklace. So remember how you set the undead on fire in the Hall of War? Well, one of them will drop Ingrid's necklace. Priced at 2,000 lei, this is not the most valuable treasure, but it's relatively easy to get. The Crimson Skull. This item can be sold for 8,000 lei, and what's more, it's located right next to the Duke in the merchant's room. So, you need to get the Flower Swords Ball in the northwestern corner of the Opera Hall first, and then complete the labyrinth in the merchant's room to receive it. So one final tip is that minor enemies do have a chance to drop a crystal skull in their remains. They're not the most valuable things you can pick up, but are easy to accumulate and quickly add cash to your reserves. To increase your chances of a drop, you obviously need more enemies, so here are the parts of the game where you have your best chances. During the first major Lycan attack in the village, and although this might be a bit against your survival instinct, try to kill as many of them as you can. Killing all the undead in the Chamber of Solace in the castle in the basement 1 bit. Again, you may not feel entirely comfortable doing this, especially as there are a great many number of them. Defeating Lady D's daughters. Now, you have to face them anyway, but as their drops are very valuable and easy to get early on in the game, they do deserve a spot on this list. Sell their crystal torsos to the Duke for a high amount of lei. With 3 crystal torsos and a bunch of crystal skulls in your bag, you should have around 20,000 lei worth of loot. So, if you do all of these points and you add them up, well, we're not that good at math, but we're sure it's enough to upgrade your shotgun into a veritable boomstick. Now, if you want any more guides on Resi, be sure to check out the website or subscribe here to keep up to date with all of the guides videos that we're going to be doing on it.